Force Kappa 42. Angel reporting in. I hate telling you guys about projects that give me the heebie-jeebies. But I guess it can be helped. Item SCP-632. A bad headache. Object class. Euclid. Special containment procedures. Item SCP-632 is to be contained in a secure biological storage unit cooled to below 2 degrees Celsius at all times. Any personnel interacting with or using SCP-632 for experimentation is to wear a Foundation-issue biohazard suit to prevent contamination. Used suits are to be placed in a sterile, airtight bag in the airlock and brought to the incinerator immediately. Personnel are to report to the supervising researcher if any sensation of spider silk on skin is felt while SCP-632's containment unit, and any personnel suspected of being infected must submit his or her blood for testing immediately. Infected personnel are to be terminated by lethal injection before the onset of physiological symptoms, and the corpses incinerated. At no times are infected personnel to be terminated by gunshot, especially in the head. All members are to be accounted for once every 24 hours. Uncontained cases of SCP-632 are to be neutralized on the spot with liquid nitrogen and brought to Site Beta-14 in an airtight container. Description: SCP-632 is a colony of previously undiscovered arachnids growing up to 3 centimeters in diameter. Currently, they number in the thousands. SCP-632 are unusually resilient to heat, surviving temperatures above 80 degrees Celsius. However, they are effectively immobilized and contained at temperatures below 2 degrees Celsius. SCP-632 are not unusual behavior-wise, except that all members of the colony are female. They undergo parthenogenesis to reproduce. When active, SCP-632 will secrete a feathery thread from its spinnerets and attach its microscopic eggs along it. The threads are virtually weightless and will be transported around by small air currents. Upon contact with warm skin, the eggs will hatch into juvenile SCP-632, whose sole purpose is to seek out and burrow into the sweat pores of the skin. Once inside the body, SCP-632 will live off body tissue, burrowing into the nearest blood vessels. Due to their minute size, this is rarely fatal or painful. The second stage of infection occurs when SCP-632 reaches the brain. There, they propagate into tiny blood vessels in the frontal cortex and rapidly increase in size, living on brain tissue. The pressure on the blood vessels will lead to a severe headache in the infected individual, only occurring in one specific spot on the head. Repeated tapping on the affected spot triggers a release of endorphins by SCP-632, relieving the pain. This will quickly lead to an obsessive-compulsive disorder where the infected is compelled to apply blunt force repeatedly on the affected area, gradually becoming more violent and forceful as the headache worsens. Eventually, the skull will fracture. Instances of SCP-632 will emerge from the brain and out of the weakened point of the skull. The infected host will usually expire due to the blood loss and loss of brain matter. Additional notes: SCP-632 was discovered in China after reports of an entire village bludgeoned to death came to the attention of the police. The Foundation was alerted by its local correspondent, and agents were dispatched. Due to no prior knowledge of the SCP, both were not properly projected and succumbed to SCP-632 infection, along with investigating police patrol. A full biohazard containment squad was deployed and the spread of SCP-632 was halted abruptly. The appropriated agent was found alive in his apartment, continuously and deliriously banging his head against the wall. He was promptly sedated and brought into containment, but managed to reawaken, get a hold of a surgeon's scalpel, and promptly terminated himself. Fortunately, the resulting colony was swiftly brought under control. Yeesh, seriously, major creepy crawlies here. No, thank you. Stay safe, stay alert, and bring me some aspirin.